at not just a nominee, but the winner of the Golden Crockoduck Award.
Not the Golden Crockoduck.
The Golden Crockoduck Award.
What's the Crockoduck Award?
Oh. You're not familiar with that one?
No, I haven't come across that.
Well, see, I minister to a couple different groups of people. We, on a regular basis, talk to people that are saved, and we help strengthen their faith in the Word of God, showing them how the Bible and science don't conflict, they go together. We also talk to a lot of people who we get the privilege of winning to Christ. That's the whole point.
Yes.
But by God's grace, He's allowed me to talk to a third group of people.
Right, and that third group of key people is?
The atheist, agnostic, antichrist, God-hating YouTubers.
Sorry, what was that?
The atheist, agnostic, antichrist, God-hating YouTubers.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
Yes, it is.
What basis have they given you this award for?
Well, they said that I am in breach of the 9th commandment, that I have told a lie in an attempt to further the truth of creation.
You've told a lie in an attempt to further the truth of creation.
I don't know if they would call it truth.
Right, two things occurred to me. First, what was the nature of that lie then?
Okay, they took a section out of my beginning series on the age of the earth, because we talk about how evolution is a religion, we go into the age of the earth, and they said, when you were claiming that the moon was skimming the surface of the earth 1.3 billion years ago, that was a lie.
Right, and what they're saying then is they're claiming that actually the moon, they're not actually saying that the moon isn't receding, are they?
No, and that's the whole point, is the science I was sharing was that fact. The fact is, we see the moon moving farther and farther away from the earth.
And they're disagreeing with the time scale, and they're doing that by arguing about coral and coral rings, and you can see this on their on their award video on YouTube.
It was hilarious, because they're going, look, we know that the Earth did not, or the moon was not skimming the surface of the Earth 1.3 billion years ago, and I admit that was a little bit of hyperbole. Okay.
Yes.
If you took it at a constant rate and factored in the inverse square law, the moon would be almost touching the Earth 1.2 or 1.3 billion years ago.
I mean, obviously they're criticizing. You're thinking, well, the moon would have been skimming, the two things would have been touching, and so on. That's not what you were saying. But what they've missed,
there's a limiting factor here.
They've missed the entire point of the argument, of course, which is that you were not saying that was a possibility. You were saying that if you take their views and their uniformitarian timescale, then it produces an absurd result. In fact, it's an example of the logical argument known as a reductio ad absurdum.
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
You look at some argument, and then you look at the corollary of that argument until you eventually reach something absurd like 0 = 1, and that proves that your original point isn't true. And that's what you're doing.
What he said.
Yeah. So they missed the entire point of the argument. The argument is completely valid, and even with their long science and long scientific words and all sorts of calculations and so on, they don't actually disprove their own point. They're just quibbling about factors of amounts, and the argument stands.
The argument does still stand, and that's the whole point. Is, look, bottom line is the moon is getting closer to the Earth. That's the whole point.
Okay,
Earth is getting farther. It used to be closer,
now
and that puts a limiting factor on it.
These people are atheists.
Correct.
And they're criticizing you.
YouTubers.
And they're criticizing you for breaking the 9th commandment.
For lying.
There's a slight irony there, isn't there? Because if they don't believe in God, they don't believe the Bible's true, then what's the point of the 10 commandments anyway?
That's a great thought. I mean, they have no basis for saying that lying is wrong. Matter of fact, atheist, agnostic, antichrist, God-hating YouTuber, you would probably say that there is no such thing as moral absolutes, and you're absolutely sure of that. That means there's no right or wrong.
If the theory of evolution were correct, then it would surely be okay for two people like you and I to be sat here to try and persuade as many people as possible that we are correct. Then we can lead them like the Pied Piper, and we survive because we are the fittest to survive.
You know what? That's an interesting thought, because if evolution is true and lying actually helps you, then why not? I mean, hey, as long as you don't hurt anybody, right? Isn't that the whole point? Hey, as long as you don't hurt anybody, lying is okay. Matter of fact, if you believe in evolution, lying is a skill that you should hone in on and learn very well on how to do that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I saw an article once about logical fallacies, not to say that they were wrong, but how to use them to win debates, even when your points are not strong enough. So
how to use them.
Why would they worry about the ninth commandment? Because they worry about it because they got a conscience and they actually know in their hearts that God really does exist, because they aren't whatever you said.
The atheist, agnostic, anti-Christ, God-hating YouTubers. That's
because
exactly
of course
right.
in their hearts they know that God exists.
I love it. Their actions have betrayed them again. They do believe in right and wrong, and they proved it by giving me the Golden Crockoduck Award.